Hi everyone, this is Kathleen Samuel. Welcome to the Creative Podcast Show. So, this is the Creative Lounge. I call it the Creative Lounge because this is a podcast for storytellers. If you're a creative person in any field, I consider you to be a storyteller. And for some of you who know me, know that I am a storyteller myself in writing, actually. We have a guest today. He's an amazing photographer. I'm not saying that because I know him in person, but because, of course, I've followed his work for quite a number of years now, if I may, and I've seen the amazing stuff he does. And I don't know why he likes to hold his work. Like I've seen a lot of his tweets where he says this picture I just took, or this BTS,
Yeah.
or this editing I just did. I don't know whether to post it or not. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, meet my friend. I think I can call you my friend right now.
Yeah.
Jace Abai. So he's a photographer, like I said earlier. He's also a student. I don't know how he does it, juggling school, photography, and other side hustles. I believe that he has other side hustles I don't know about. So yeah, over to you. Tell us about yourself.
Okay.
How long have you been into photography?
Well, I've been a photographer from 2019, so
Okay.
that's just running into 5 years now.
I didn't even
November
realize that.
2019.
Okay.
That was when I became serious. So, running into
So
five
when you
years.
started, you're not serious.
I didn't think I was going to take up photography as like a career.
Okay.
So I was just unconsciously learning. But
Okay.
then when I became intentional was in the November of 2019. So
Oh, awesome. Um, why photography?
honestly, I have no idea why, but I would say that one of the major influences to why it was photography was because uh, my immediate older brother, who is like the one I'm closest to in the entire family, is the actual photographer.
Oh,
So
I
I
think
kind
I know
of
the
just,
one.
yes, Jeff. So being around Jeff so much was the main reason why I found myself being a photographer too, like him.
Oh, awesome. But I don't know if it's just me. I rarely see his work like I do yours. He doesn't
Okay,
post most
so
of
the
his
thing
work.
the thing is, Jeff is not a social media person, so he's
Okay.
like very private. No, not private, quiet on social media. He conveniently goes a complete year without publishing a post on his personal account.
So how do people find him?
Well, that's where I come in. So
Oh, okay.
yes, so I work with his imagery studio, and his
Okay.
imagery studio is Jeff's idea. It's Jeff's studio,
Okay.
so it's Jeff's dream, and he's the creative director of his imagery studio. I am the assistant creative director,
Okay.
so it kind of balances. It balances it off for both of us that I do most of the postings, and then he just handles most of the admin stuff and the rest of the things in the background, and
Okay.
he just lets me be in front of the people.
That's interesting
Yeah,
because, like I said, I rarely see him post. We
yeah.
were having a conversation earlier before now,
Mhm.
and you said some key things that really caught my attention. Um, I asked why photography, right? And you
Mhm.
answered. Do you think that you'd want to do photography long term? I mean, this is going on 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
something you'd want to do long term, especially in Nigeria?
Hmm. Well, the thing is, I know a lot of people would be surprised to hear this, but I don't really think I want to do photography for the rest of my life. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love photography. I enjoy taking photos of people, and I would like to think that I do it well too. But a part of me believes that uh, that is not. my actual dream. I just picked up on it on the side when my immediate older brother was learning and he was practicing, and I was
Mm.
there watching, and
Yeah.
he was growing in his brand as well, and then I was just being there, being his assistant.
Okay.
So photography, yes, I would continue it, but not as a primary uh, job, not
Okay.
as a primary source of income.
Okay.
So I would just do photography for leisure, for fun,
Mm.
and probably as a hobby or as a side business, but not as a primary job, like
Okay.
what pays my bills. I don't
Mm.
think I want that to be
Sounds
to
a
be
lot
that.
like a hobby to me. Is it a hobby or a passion? I don't know which one to call it.
Let's just call it both.
Okay, a bit of passion, a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah,
hobby.
of hobby.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So schooling in Nigeria
Mm.
alone is a job
Yeah,
in itself.
full time job.
I think I saw a post where somebody said, is it job hunting is a job on its own. How do you juggle between both? Still
Okay.
in school, and at one moment I feel like you're taking photography seriously, and then I forget that Jess is in school. How do you juggle both, really?
Look, the truth is, it's not easy. It's not.
Of course not.
Um, I've been in the University of Jos since 2017.
What?
Yes, and I am a laboratory science student.
Yeah, you've mentioned
Yes,
before.
so it's supposed to be a 5 year course,
Yeah.
but
I hate
it's
when
been
people say that. Not for them. Like I hate
yeah.
it when I started in like the post that somebody
Mhm.
tweets that somebody puts like a few
Mhm.
days ago. When did you start school and what year are you graduating? Or like when are you
Mhm.
graduating? It's supposed to be a 4 year course and someone will be there for 7 years.
Yeah,
It kills me every
this is
time.
my seventh year in the University
That's
of
really
Jos.
rough. But your course, what? How many years is it for?
5.
Oh,
Yeah. So I've been a photographer for shorter than I've been a university student.
oh my god.
Yes. So being a full time student, I mean, studying what I'm studying, it's
Hmm.
time consuming on its own already. Some days I go to school from 8 a.m. and I don't leave school till about 6
Yeah,
p.m. or
some
five
courses are
thirty or
demanding like
4 p.m.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't always like this
Mm.
because then we were running a home studio.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit convenient to go to school and just come back home and do what you need to do. But
Mm.
since when we moved to a bigger space in 2022,
Okay.
it became a lot more. It became a lot more because now there was a structure. We have studio assistants, we have apprentices, we
Mm.
have students who come on IT, and having to manage all of that and then manage being a student, studying, assignments, tests, and everything else in between is a lot. So sometimes, sadly and unfortunately, I have to sacrifice school for work,
Mm-hmm.
and other times I have to sacrifice work
Yeah.
for school. So I have a quick story.
Okay.
Last year,
Please share.
January,
Yeah.
I I had a wedding to shoot in Enugu State.
Okay.
Yeah. So the wedding was Saturday, but I had an exam Monday. Yes.
What did you call?
Well, first of all, I don't think okay. That wasn't the exam was readjusted.
Okay. It
Yes.
wasn't an
So it
original
wasn't
date.
that day. Yes. So when I accepted the booking for that wedding,
Mm-hmm.
it was supposed to just go on smoothly because I was supposed to go for the wedding, come back, and then not have anything in between.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen that way, and I had to travel. Of course, I had spent the money, so I had to keep up with my end of the bargain.
Okay.
So I traveled to Enugu, which was a very very terrible journey, by the way.
I can
I spent
imagine.
24 hours on the road because
Whoa.
the car was.
But did
Just,
you go earlier than?
yes, I had a test on Thursday. I was supposed to travel Thursday, but I couldn't because I had a test at school.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved my trip to Friday
Friday.
morning.
Yeah.
So I left Friday morning. And unfortunately, I did not reach Enugu State until Saturday morning, the morning of the wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
But before the time for the wedding, I hope.
No. Yeah. It was that
No.
bad. So we were going with my brother, my boss.
Yeah.
The car kept on spoiling and
Oh
spoiling,
no.
and I hated and I regretted so much that I traveled
Mm.
through that travel agency. And thankfully, we had understanding clients.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
so
God.
they were very very kind and they understood.
Mm-hmm.
So being the mess that we were, because during the journey,
Mm-hmm.
I think my brother and I and the driver kind of became friends because it was
Of
so
course,
bad
it
that,
usually happens like
yeah,
that.
I remember helping the driver change one of the tires. That
Mm.
was, yeah, that was how bad it was. So when I was looking a mess, of course, haven't showered for 24 hours plus,
Yeah.
and
True.
then being on the road, the exhaustion, the stress, and
Mm.
all of that. So we just went straight to the church, looking very dirty. You needed to see us that morning, and of course, the client, she was already in church, so we
Mm.
missed out on her getting ready, which is an
Entrance. Oh
essential
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the
yeah.
wedding
True.
for
Yeah.
a lot of people. So thankfully, she was very kind and she was like, "No, guys, this is not your fault." So we did that and went on to shoot the wedding. I think it was somewhere along the line that we kind of went out to the church bathroom to change out of the messy clothes we
Mm.
had on after the bride had danced in and everyone was settled in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then coming back, it was a smooth journey. But then something happened on the way.
Mm.
This was a private car. So we kind of like met someone who was coming back to Jos and he was like, "Yo guys, I'm going to Jos. I could just take you guys for a subsidized rate." And it felt very comfortable to travel on a car that you did not have to be squeezed together like
Yeah.
a sandwich. Yeah, and
Okay.
of course we took that offer
Mm.
and traveling. It was very smooth. Stopped by to take some food and pictures and all of that, and then until I think somewhere along Nassau, coming back to Jos
Mm.
Sunday evening. Now I
Mm.
have an exam on Monday morning
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. Then he drove into a pothole and both tires just,
No.
yeah, they did pull out, but the tires were very bad. So the wheels were broken.
Oh.
Yes, the tire behind had a broken wheel, and the tire was shattered. Like it was, it was beyond
That's
redemption. That
really
was like around
terrible.
6:30 p.m. already.
On Sunday.
Yes, Sunday evening.
Wow.
So we kind of had to stop, take out both tires. We had left Nasarawa already. Take
Mm.
it back to Nasarawa, look for a bike, and take it back to Nasarawa. Find a vulcanizer to do what he could do on the tire.
Yeah.
So we had one spare
Mm.
from the driver's car, of course,
Mm.
and then so we used one of the spare, and then the one that was salvaged, we took it back to the vulcanizer to
Yeah.
get it fixed. So we did that, and that took us about 2 hours to 2 hours 30 minutes to fix. So we were, it was already 8:30 p.m. and we were still in our shower. So hoping that that was fixed, we kept on moving, and then the spare tire bursted on the road again. So
Wow.
there was no tire, and I got home at 3:30 a.m. and I had an exam at 8 a.m.
Mm.
Yeah, and thankfully, I mean, I planned to read on a lot on the journey, but going, it was a terrible journey.
Coming
So I
back.
couldn't concentrate on studying because,
Yeah.
of course, it was. And then coming
Coming
back,
back was
I was
even more
tired, and I'm like, okay,
horrible.
since I'll reach home on time, I could just brush up on my books and then go write my exams.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that, but so I just had to go write that exam. Okay, when I went home, my brother had to come pick us up because it was empty. You can't really order boat at 3:30. People will be asleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
So my brother came, picked me up, and took me to his house. And thankfully, it's like I saw that coming. So I had my school stuff in my bag already.
Okay.
Yeah, my identity card and my receipts of payment
Course.
to just go write my exams.
Yeah.
So just went to his house, which was not far from school. Then went home, took a shower, and then just went back to my books at
Wow.
about 4 a.m., 4:30.
That's
And
quite a
then,
lot.
yeah, and then I went to write my exams and I came back. Thankfully, I did not fail.
I was going to ask you
Yay.
that.
No, I did not fail.
I was
So, I
going to
mean,
ask that.
one of the things that people think is that it's a flex for you to be a full time student
Yeah.
and have a full time job, but it's not. You know, sometimes I go a week on
Mhm.
maybe 3, 4 hours of sleep a day. just because I
I
have
know that,
deadlines to meet up with.
yes, you don't sleep. I can actually attest to. You don't sleep.
Yeah, and
And one of the things that I actually want to say is, um, there's a lot of assumptions. You being a photographer,
mhm,
a lot of people will just think that it's about just carrying a
yeah,
camera, shooting, or you almost always get gigs. Imagine
mhm,
this story that you just shared
yeah,
now.
and
Nobody would know that
no,
you
nobody would know that.
actually go through
Yes,
that.
yes.
That's
So
really not
it's
nice.
usually there's always challenges to doing these things, but I think the when you think about why you started in the
Mm-hmm.
first place, it kind of helps you to keep on going and to remind you that that's not the end, and
Yeah.
this is just a part of the journey that you decided to take.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody forced you to do that.
True.
Even though I think sometimes I feel a bit forced to be a student in a Nigerian institution
Oh, I get that. I
because
can totally relate.
it's crazy. It's crazy. At some point, I did not see the need to go to classes anymore because
Mm-hmm.
the lecturer would come to class, read out exactly what's in the
What's in the
handout. So
handouts?
there's no point of me going to go spend 4 3 hours in class
It's
when I could just
crazy.
read that and catch up with the
Mm-hmm.
entire class later on.
Yeah.
So to some extent, it had an effect on my grades,
Mm.
but I think that's one of the things that I had to sacrifice for for my job because if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have a job. And I mean, yeah. So
Understand. So I have two questions for you before
okay.
we round up. One of which is pricing.
Mhm,
I saw someone tweet about, she's a makeup artist,
mhm.
and I think that I should actually bring her in on one of the episodes. When you charge a client for a shoot, it depends on whatever it
Yeah.
is. What's it like? Question A under the main question.
Okay.
What's it like? Because I know like there are different shoots. It could be a wedding,
Mhm,
and then shoot for children can be more
yeah.
tasking and all of that.
Mhm.
How do you navigate through all of that when you charge and they start to maybe nag about how it's
Mm.
outrageous? How do you manage all of that really?
Okay. Well, the thing here is when you're starting out as a beginner photographer
Yeah.
and you're trying to have as much clients as possible,
Mm.
there are things that most people make the mistake of, like just allowing some things to go free, and
Okay.
not like charging, doing free photos. I mean, a lot of them do free photos, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the mistake most people make when they're starting out is that they want to accommodate people's bad behaviors as
Right.
clients because a lot of clients do have bad behaviors.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So we usually accommodate that at the beginning, but when you get to a certain level where you know the quality of stuff you're giving out to people and it's not something that people can just go down the street and get,
Mm-hmm.
you know that yo, I got value. And if you're not doing it my way, then you can leave. So for some clients, if we cannot come to an agreement,
Mm-hmm.
I usually tell them, yo, I'm sorry that we cannot come to an agreement. I would love to work for you, but what you're offering is very, very low for what I am giving you in return. So if you can reconsider your budget, then that would be nice. Of course, you still have to figure out how to do this nicely and not be rude and not
Yeah,
express your
true,
displeasure
true.
because of course you're running a business.
Yes, and you shouldn't
And
chase your customers.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
and
true.
you are supposed to make profits. And
Yeah,
if you send those people away, then
of
you're running
course,
at loss.
of course.
And then the thing here is that you need their money. They need
Mm,
your services.
mm.
Okay. And you just sometimes some of them do not really know the value of what they are paying for, and you
Yeah,
just need to
they
sit them
just think
down.
it's just, hey, it's just
Yes, yes.
pictures.
And for some people you just need to sit them down and
Mm,
let them understand that this has value and this is worth what you're paying for or
mm.
maybe less,
Yeah.
you know. And for most people in Jaws, I'm sorry to use Jaws because I am from Jaws.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think I get better paying gigs from outside
Outside,
of Jaws
I can
than
imagine.
from within Jaws.
I can
So
imagine.
these days, I prefer to take up weddings that are coming from outside Jaws
Okay.
than from within Jaws
Okay.
because it's like most people who come from outside, they are used to the expenses. Yes,
Yeah,
they are
true,
used to paying a lot of money for things, but
true.
people didn't just work. We're kind of used to having things at giveaway prices. You
Mm-hmm.
know, with the dollar.
And then there's a mentality of you're one of our own. Why are you
Yes,
charging too
yes,
much?
yes. And then looking at the exchange rate for buying camera equipment and running a studio is not,
It's
it's
really
not
not
cheap.
easy. Yeah,
And
true.
I usually tell people that if you go to that studio and they charge you this amount, that's fine. But
Mm.
I know how much I pay for rent here. I know how much I have to pay for fuel. I know how much I have to spend on power. And to keep this studio running, it costs a lot of money. And of course, I cannot do this for you at a point where I am running at a loss.
True,
If I'm not making profit
true.
enough to be able to fund and to manage my business, then
Mm-hmm.
there's no point of charging people. So people from Jaws, they kind of expect you. Most of them would. Uh, I'm sorry, but if you people usually come to the studio and they kind of make you feel like they're doing a favor, I'll bring you clients. Yo, you bring me clients.
Mm.
You came to my studio, someone recommended you because of the quality of the work,
Yeah,
not because of the price, you
true.
know. And unfortunately, it's the people that will drag with you on the price that are usually the very, very problematic clients. So
I
they pay
agree.
less and come with bigger problems.
Yes.
But the people who pay you more because they know the worth and how much time you have to spend to be a photographer,
Mm-hmm.
some of them will be like, how long do you need?
Mm.
They don't come to tell you I need this tomorrow and you're coming to my studio at
Yes.
4 p.m.
I think I get that even in my business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm usually straightforward. No, you cannot get this tomorrow. If you're going to get this tomorrow, you're going to have to pay me extra.
Okay.
Because I have a backlog. There's a time for everything and
Sure.
everyone has, if you come in today, there's a date I'm supposed to give you your work. And if I'm going to have to remove that person's work to put in yours,
Mm.
then you're going to pay me for the stress.
Sure.
So most times I usually end up having a hassle with people like that.
Mm.
But I think with time, when you get clients and you're not really desperate for them anymore, you get to do younger. Yes. You get to choose who to
Who to
work for
work
and who
with or not.
to just say, no, I think you should find someone else.
Okay.
And it's not pride.
I get
It's
that.
not pride.
Yeah.
It's just that there's I like to think that just is a place where every photographer that I have met is either on fire or on their way to catching fire.
Wow.
Yes. So I believe that there's a photographer for everyone, and not everyone is going to be my client,
Your
and
client.
that's fine.
Sure. Sure.
Not everyone is going to be our clients at the studio, and that's
Sure.
fine.
I think
And
that applies to almost every business.
yes,
Not
yes,
every
and
client is
yes.
yours.
So I don't act desperate in front of my clients,
Mm-hmm.
even if I need your money. I'm not desperate for it.
Okay.
I would rather not have any money than to have some money or lesser money than what I would earn, and some insults to accompany it or some disrespect to accompany it, because
Can
I'm big on my
imagine.
self respect and self worth.
Sure.
And because I know how much value I am offering,
Mm.
I hate to be disrespected. So I think my brother shares the same mindset with me. So it's easier for us to be able to manage clients and choose who to work with and who to not work with.
Awesome. I know that you do. I don't want to conclude, but I know that you do a lot of wedding photography. But is that like your main niche?
Well, I would say that our primary niche are portraits and weddings.
Okay.
And somehow, someway, it wasn't like that. It's just because the condition they make crayfish bend, right?
Yes.
So at the beginning,
Yeah.
those were the two things that were coming in.
Okay.
And so now that it seems like people are loving the weddings, why not just do it since you
Stick
do it
with
so
it.
well and people
Sure.
love it?
Sure.
Then there's no point refusing those bookings because weddings are stressful to shoot. That's why most
Yes.
photographers or a lot of photographers do not use weddings. It's a lot.
That's true.
Because you can meet a client that will say, my makeup artist is starting makeup by 5:30. I want you to be there to start.
Sometimes you
Okay.
can get there 4:30 a.m. and they are not ready. Either one of them has not had a bath
Yeah.
or the makeup artist is
Sometimes
not
you
there.
go as late as 8 a.m. and they are not done. They are not. They haven't even
I think
started.
I've been in a situation
Yes.
like that.
So how we do that is it's just I don't know. It's the grace of God that was
Hmm.
at the beginning because of course it was lesser pay for more stress.
Yes, true.
Yeah, but it
But
feels
you've been
good
able to
that
manage all of
yes,
that.
yes.
Great.
I think that's one of the challenges of being of starting up. You
True.
know, you
True.
have to go through that
Yeah.
that phase to be able to go to the phase where you get to choose. And I would like to think that we are still developing because despite the fact that I don't intend to do photography as a primary job,
Mm-hmm.
I still have goals that I share with my brother
Mm-hmm.
for our studio. There's a particular place that it's supposed to be, and it's not quite there yet, but it's in the process of getting there. And
Awesome. There's always room for growth.
yes, yes, and we always want to leave that room and that space so that when that growth comes, we accommodate it. So
Awesome. I didn't know that you could be such an amazing storyteller.
I love
I,
stories too. I just
I
think
know
that I suck at telling them.
telling them.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I've heard you say that in one of your videos. I
Hmm.
didn't know that I could be privy to hearing you tell a story. It's been such an amazing time having you and hearing you share your stories about growth, coping mechanisms, and challenges and success stories. And I really wish you all the best. Wait, you did
Thank you.
mention that this is your last year in school.
Yeah, semester.
Yay! Semester.
Yeah, so I should be done in about two months.
Awesome.
I'm so
High five.
excited.
High five.
I can't wait.
That's really awesome. I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for
I
me
know that
too.
we both don't like school. It's not nice to say this on camera, but I mean, I don't like school in Nigeria. Let me just
I
cover
love
up by saying
learning.
that.
I love
I
to
love
learn.
learning too,
Yes,
but
but
just I don't know how else to say it. I don't
yeah,
like the
it's just
idea
the
of four
system.
walls of a
Yeah.
university of an or an institution,
Hmm.
especially in Nigeria. The
No,
time
it's not
waste and
fun.
all of that is really
No,
not
it's not
funny.
fun
It's draining.
at all.
Anyway, so being on the creative podcast slash creative lounge, would love for you to would love to remember that you were here.
Mhm.
So you're going to leave us with your signature, and we also have a gift for you.
So excited.
Yeah. So you're going to sign on this.
Oh,
Yep.
plenty of room.
Uh huh. So just leave your best signature for us.
So do I get like another space to practice so that I won't sound
Really?
forget?
Maybe you could do. Oh, I'm wearing a black shirt. I would have actually volunteered. Don't ruin your white shirt.
I'm
Just
not
do it
going to
here.
ruin it. I'm left-handed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you
Yay.
so much. And we have a gift for you as
Ooh.
well. I hope you love tea or the other
I love
thing they
tea,
put in the mug.
coffee. I love coffee.
Awesome.
Coffee is
So
nice.
enjoy your coffee. Anytime you're drinking out of this, remember me. Remember
Definitely.
us.
Definitely. I will do that.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you too. It's been such an amazing time having you.
Thank you for
I
having
don't
me.
know. Maybe later in the future we'll still drag you back here.
Be
By
honored.
that time, I think that I believe rather that you would have more success stories to share. I don't
Yeah.
want to hear that you spent 24 hours on the road. No,
No,
God.
no, 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 no. Not anymore. I
Great.
promise you, Enugu was the last 24 hours I was spending on the road.
Awesome.
Except it's, if it's, there's no 24-hour flight, is there? No.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure, anyways. But
I don't think there is.
all right.
Yeah.
Great. So, where can we find you? Very important.
Okay. Well, it's a bit tricky to answer this because
Why?
I have a
Social media.
personal social media account and I have a
And
work
do you have
social
a
media account.
okay? Great. So your do you want to be found on your personal social media or your business social media accounts?
I don't have any secret, so it's just
Actually, you don't.
fun on
So
my
just let's
social
know
media.
where to find you. Just put it somewhere. What
Okay.
platforms and your handles.
Okay. I am on Facebook as Jesse Abai,
Okay.
Jesse, not Y.
Okay.
And Abai is spelled Ebai.
Mhm.
Yes. And on Instagram as the red hat dude.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
explain to me. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And that's because that's the I love to make videos too. So
Yes, I
it's
know
kind of
that.
like the space where I get to be the version of Jesse that is not a photographer but loves
Okay.
to make videos about the things that he finds interesting, like cars and tech and all of that.
All right.
So the red hat dude. And then
Okay.
on Twitter as Jace underscore Abai.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
it.
I hope you heard that. If you want to book for your photography, portraits, weddings, is the guy for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This is the Creative Lounge. And if you're a storyteller, I did mention earlier that if you're a makeup artist, you're a tourist, you're a photographer like Jess is, and you would love to be on the Creative Podcast, please drop us a comment or send us a DM, or am I supposed to share my handles? Anyways, you can shoot us a DM or drop in the comments, and we'll send you an invite. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You guys look